Hello, pre-K friends. This is Miss Melton, and I am very excited to read the next book to you all. The title of this book is Matthew and Tilly. The author, the person who wrote the story, is Rebecca C. Jones, and the illustrator, the person who drew the pictures, is Beth Peck. This is Matthew, this is Tilly, and they are best friends. They do everything together. But one day they had an argument. I am wondering what made them have a disagreement. Let's read and find out. Matthew and Tilly were friends. I noticed that it is raining outside, and Matthew and Tilly are walking down the sidewalk sharing an umbrella. They must enjoy sharing things. They rode bikes together and they played hide and seek together. I am wondering if they do a lot of activities together. Let's read more and find out. They sold lemonade together. When business was slow, they played sidewalk games together. Matthew and Tilly have a lemonade business. A business is when you buy and sell things. I am thinking, since they do not have any customers to sell their lemonade to, they are playing hopscotch to keep themselves busy. And sometimes they ate ice cream cones together. Once they even rescued a lady's kitten from a tree together. To rescue means save someone or something from danger. I am thinking Matthew and Tilly came up with a plan together on how they were going to rescue that kitten from the tree safely. Matthew may have said to Tilly, I will climb the ladder and reach for the kitten. And Tilly may have said, you pass me the kitten and I will make sure it gets back to the lady safely. The lady gave them money for the bubblegum machines. I think that is her way of saying thank you for rescuing my kitten. So later they chewed gum together and remembered how brave, not scared they had been. I think Matthew and Tilly must be really good friends. They do a lot of fun things together and encourage one another. They let each other know what a good job the other one is doing. Sometimes, though, Matthew and Tilly got sick of each other. They would bother each other. They would even get tired of being around one another. One day, when they were coloring, Matthew wrote Tilly's purple crayon. He didn't mean to, but he did. Maybe he was holding the crayon too tightly and it broke. I wonder if Tilly is going to be upset with him. Let's read more and find out. You broke my crayon, Tilly said in her crabbiest voice. It was an old crayon, Matthew said in his grouchiest voice. It was ready to break. No, it wasn't, Tilly said. It was a brand new crayon and you broke it. You always break everything. Stop being so picky. Being very hard to please, Matthew said. You are always so picky and stinky and mean. Well, you are so silly, Tilly said. You are so silly and stinky and mean. Oh, no. Matthew and Tilly are best friends, but now they are having a disagreement. This is a problem. I wonder what will happen next. Matthew stumped up the stairs by himself. I am thinking that Matthew did not like Tilly calling him names. I bet that is why he stumps up the stairs. He must be angry. Tilly found a piece of chalk and began drawing numbers and squares on the sidewalk by herself. I am thinking they do not want to be friends right now because they have said some unkind words to each other. Upstairs, Matthew got out his cash register and some cans so he could play store. He piled the cans extra high and he put prices on everything. This was his best store he had ever made, probably because that picky and stinky and mean old Tilly wasn't around to mess it up. But he didn't have a customer, and playing store wasn't much fun without a customer. Matthew did put together a fun activity to play, but it doesn't look like he's enjoying it without his friend Tilly. I also noticed that he is sitting in a chair, but the other chair is empty. I wonder if that chair was meant for Tilly. I bet she would have been sitting there if they hadn't had that fight. Tilly finished drawing the numbers in squares. She drew them really big, with lots of squiggly lines. This was her best sidewalk game she had ever drawn, probably because that silly and stinky and mean old Matthew wasn't around to mess it up. But she didn't have anyone to play with, and a sidewalk game wasn't much fun without another player. I noticed that Tilly drew the best sidewalk game ever. But it doesn't look like she is having fun. She seems lonely. She doesn't have her friend to say to her, "This is the best sidewalk game you have ever drawn," or to say, "You are so good at this game." Matthew looked out the window and wondered. He was thinking about what Tilly was doing. Tilly looked up at Matthew's window and wondered what he was doing. She smiled just a little. That was enough for Matthew. "I'm sorry," he called. "So am I," said Tilly. Matthew and Tilly apologized to each other. I bet they want to play together and be friends again. I am thinking now that they have accepted each other's apologies, they can play Tilly's sidewalk game. They can play in Matthew's grocery store. They can go and have ice cream and all the other things that they had done before. And Matthew ran downstairs so they could play. I think Matthew was so excited to be Tilly's friend again that he could not wait to get downstairs to be with her. Together again. I am so happy to see them together again. Now, this is the end of the story. But I am curious to know, why did Matthew stomp up the stairs? I want you to think about this question. I want you to share your answer with your friends and teacher. Bye.